But now, let's go a bit deeper and see how much the Don himself is worth. Where would he rank on the Forbes list? With all these factors in mind, we can get a more accurate estimate to how truly wealthy the Don really was. So, at the height of the Don's reign, his personal net worth would have reached around $90 million, or around $2.1 billion in today's money. Now, there's a common misconception that net worth equals how much money someone has in cash, and that's just simply not true. Look, for example, at someone like Jeff Bezos or even Elon Musk. Although they might have a net worth of $219 billion and $171 billion respectively, it doesn't mean that they actually have it in cash just sitting in a bank somewhere. The reason they're worth all those billions is because of their ownership and stock in the companies they built. Now, there are a number of ways that the wealthy use this to their advantage, but we'll have to get into that at a different time. I wanted to mention all this to say that these figures are often misleading and don't always tell the full story. What's interesting is that even with this extraordinary amount of wealth, Don Vito still might not be anywhere near the wealth of the likes of John D. Rockefeller, Henry Ford, or Andrew Carnegie, who were all worth hundreds of billions of dollars. What separated Don Vito from the rest was not his wealth. He had something that money alone simply cannot buy, something that all these wealthy people want to acquire: power and influence. Don Vito was loved by the people. At the same time, not complying to his law came with serious repercussions. Therefore, he managed to strike that perfect balance that Machiavelli speaks of, being both loved and feared. Without a doubt, in Vito's world, the world he created for himself, he had true power. Vito literally went from absolutely nothing to his name to an empire worth billions, laying the foundation for the next generation to make the Corleone family one of the wealthiest in America. And that's something to note when we look at Vito. He was fairly modest, considering that at one point he was literally making a few $billion in today's money every year. Now, of course, a lot was tied to assets and property, and went down significantly by the end of Prohibition. He still managed to become a billionaire in a very short while. So although the Don was incredibly close to becoming one of the wealthiest men in the country, there was just not enough time. The end of Prohibition really dealt a heavy blow to the Corleone family and to organized crime as a whole. The drop was pretty drastic. I mean, you saw it yourself, going from generating a few $billion per year in today's money down to half of that. That really would have crushed most people, hence why Don Barzini and many other Dons wanted to get into another extremely high-risk but high-rewarding venture.